Welcome, guys, to the Meet Damien channel, and happy Cinco de Mayo to those of you who celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I know I'll be celebrating it later on tonight myself, but today's live stream we're going to be celebrating Bitcoin staying above $90,000. Hopefully, it can do that for the rest of this week here, and we might be able to see some higher prices. But we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, and we'll take a look at crypto and some of these altcoins that you guys want to take a look at. I'll be taking requests here, okay? And let's get into it here with Bitcoin. So we're just looking at Bitcoin without any crazy indicators. Just a naked chart is what they would call it. Bitcoin's at $480 right now. And just up slightly today, believe it or not. Okay. As I start to zoom out here, okay, here's a Fibonacci analysis that I still think is applicable. It's good to have to find out where the key areas, key levels might be for Bitcoin. Okay. And we really want to stay above this 0.786 retracement level at $92,789 Bitcoin, mainly because if we lose that level, then I guess we have to come down to the 0.618 level at $88,900 for the most part. Okay. So I think traders are defending that level. Investors and the longs, the Bitcoin longs, are actually defending $93,000 or $92,800 because the lowest that we came down today was about $93,500 on Bitcoin. Which is, in this case, it's sort of a higher low from where some of the lows were back in April 30th and April 28th, where we saw Bitcoin get down to 92,829 and 92,911. So I think that is a very important level for us to stay above 92,800. The fact that we're at 94,500 just makes me more cautiously optimistic that we could probably continue going to higher prices here with Bitcoin. Now, let me go ahead and throw on some indicators here, okay? And we'll see what's really going on with Bitcoin here, okay? We have another line in the sand that I want us to hold is this 100-day moving average, which is kind of sitting at that $92,900 level. So, pencil it in, guys. 92,900 needs to hold, okay? And if it does hold, then we can start talking about going to higher prices with Bitcoin. And if we do go to higher prices, where could we go next? Okay, well, first, we like to get back up to $96,000, $97,000, because that's, if I put on the VRVP, you'll see that we have a POC over there. But just using this Fibonacci analysis here, if we were to continue up higher, we have a 1618 extension that says that Bitcoin could get up to like $112,000 sometime in the near future here. Okay. Let me go ahead and I will actually put on some more indicators here, and we'll get that VRVP fired up here for you. Okay. And we'll see what the VRVP has to say here. All right, so now things looking a little bit more confusing here. Let me just collapse this here. And I'll get rid of the moving averages for now. But we got the VRVP, these green and red bars off to the right here. And it's just saying that the POC, which is a very important line, it's a point of control. It's where 50% of the volume was traded at, where investors and traders were settling up at, and they basically settled up at like the $96,500 area. Okay, now we've seen Bitcoin get up to 96,500 earlier last week. We actually got up almost as high as 98,000, where we came up to like $97,948 on Friday. Okay, so we visited the POC. Now we're a little bit below it. Let me go ahead and get rid of this Fibonacci analysis, so it's kind of like decluttering the chart here. We visited $96,500, the POC. Now we're just a little bit below it. I'm expecting us to stay sideways, trading anywhere between probably like $93,000 and $97,000 on Bitcoin, at least until Wednesday. And the reason why I say Wednesday, because Wednesday is the FOMC meeting, when we find out if the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates, lower interest rates, keep them the same. I think the consensus is that they're going to keep them the same for now. But they might actually surprise us and actually lower interest rates. I don't think they're going to actually raise interest rates, but you never know. They always have the option to do so. But I think we'll go sideways, and then we'll finally get some direction as to whether we're going up or down significantly on Bitcoin once the FOMC meeting comes in. And I see Basili Geo is in here. You're saying hello from Greece. Wow, I got somebody all the way from Greece is checking out my live streams. I appreciate that. That's awesome. We got like a worldwide audience going on here. So it must be nighttime for you guys over in Greece. Let me know what cryptocurrency you want me to take a look at, Basil. And let's see who else is in the chat here. I see I'm getting some likes on my TikTok stream. I'm doing a TikTok and a YouTube live stream at the same time here. So if you see me playing with this phone right here, that's just me with my TikTok streamers. Okay. All right. Why not? I can do both. I can do both YouTube and TikTok. All right. So there you go, guys. There's some levels for you. Bitcoin, we want to see it get back up to the POC at 96,700. Once it gets past that level, we do have another high volume node at like 101,798 or about $102,000 Bitcoin. Could be the next level that we get some resistance at. And then once we get past that level, then we do have another high volume node level here at about $105,000 Bitcoin. Okay. And then even above that, we got a value area high at like $107,000 Bitcoin. But first, we need to get past this blue line, stop treating it as resistance, and start using it as support. I think Bitcoin might be capable of doing that, but you never know. We really don't know with the kind of news that we get that could affect the markets, the Trump tariffs and trade wars. We might get knocked back down to lower levels. And if we do go down to lower levels, if we lose that 93K area, like I said, I think 88, 89K is going to probably be where we get some support. Let me just go ahead and throw on the moving averages here. You see the moving averages here? They might provide some support at like 89K is where the 50 days hanging out at. And also $90,400 is where the 200-day moving average is hanging out at. So we might get some support. But if we lose that support, then we might come down to the value area low at like 86K. Okay. So you got some areas to work with to game plan things out. I'm actually currently in a long right now on Bitcoin, day trading it right now. I did pretty well past couple of days. I was shorting Bitcoin last night. Then I flipped bullish on Bitcoin this morning when I saw that we weren't losing 93.5K. Let me go into the smaller time frames here so you guys can see what I was eyeballing here. We're on the 5-minute time frame for Bitcoin. As I zoom in a little bit here, and you see Bitcoin kind of hold that $93,600 level. Let me go ahead and get rid of that VRVP. We don't need that right now. But it was holding like $93,600, and I was like, all right, well, if this is going to hold, you pretty much got like a triple bottom over here, okay? It's probably a good time to just throw in a long, and then you just put a stop loss at like 93,500 or even a little bit looser, okay, if you want to. But I was day trading Bitcoin this morning, and I got into a long, and I was able to cash out right over here this afternoon. I didn't get the top. I probably got like somewhere like 94,500, but this thing kept pushing up to like 94,900, and I didn't sell the top. I'm not that good, okay? But that's how I was viewing things. And the reason why I flipped from being bearish to bullish on Bitcoin is because if I go into the 1-minute time frame here, so now we're looking at the 1-minute time frames. So this was like earlier this morning, around like 9 o'clock 10 o'clock East Coast time. When I saw the price of Bitcoin get above the 200-day moving average, that red line, that's when I was like, okay, it's actually safe to be in a long. Whenever you get above the 200 moving average, the red line here, it's usually the start of something good. Okay, doesn't mean it's always going to end good, but it's usually the start of something good. And then, you know, of course, we stayed above that red line, the 200-day moving average. I got a bunch of moving averages here, but, you know, the red one is the 200-day moving average, and we stayed above that, and we continued up higher and higher, and, you know, I was able to make some money day trading Bitcoin this late morning and into the afternoon. I sold here, then I just watched the charts. I watched the charts as Bitcoin was coming down towards the end of this afternoon, and I actually started like buying some Bitcoin like around here, where we kind of like we were trading sideways in this area. So I was like, yeah, let me go throw in a position to long, and then I even threw another position in here just below that. See if when we got to like 94K Bitcoin, I was like, I think we're gonna probably respect that level there. So I threw in added some more positions for my long position on Bitcoin. And yeah, I'm trying to see if this thing can ride us out and get us back to like, you know, pretty much back to 95K again, and then I'll probably sell again. But you know, just talking through things here. Why did I decide to sell over here? Well, if I go over to the 15-minute time frame here, because we're trading the smaller time frames when we're day trading, I saw that Bitcoin got up to the 50-day moving average at 94,500, and I was like, all right, time to sell something. Okay, and then of course I didn't know if we were actually gonna get up to the 100-day moving average, this blue line on the 15-minute time frame. So I was already out of the trade by that point. Once we got past this green line, I was like, all right, time to sell. But I could have held on to the trades longer and maybe sell with the rest of the guys that were selling at the 100-day moving average. But you can see that, you know, Bitcoin respected the 100-day moving average as resistance, and that's when we came down. Okay, so it's very important to use these indicators here, these moving averages, because other people around the world that you're trading against, okay, they're also using these indicators as well. And somebody thought that was a good time to sell, and then all the people piled on. You got like almost like a triple top here with the candle wicks, and then that's when we went down lower. So I guess the 50-minute time frame was being used by other traders and investors around the world. And yeah, we came down. Okay, we came down to about $93,800, and that's why I started scooping up some Bitcoin over here as well. And I'm trying to ride this puppy back up again. Maybe we get past that 100 moving average on the 15-minute time frame. Maybe we might be able to pierce through the 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame, which is sitting at 95,109. That's actually what I'm going to be targeting now that I'm in this long here on Bitcoin. I'm targeting 95,100 for my day trading activities here. All right, so that's a little bit of day trading there for you guys. Looks like users so-and-so is saying, do I think Solana will drop to 125 or less? We'll take a look at Solana. Appreciate you mentioning it. I'll treat that as a request. Let me see if there's anybody else here with a request. Thumbo saying, I think I might have already asked you because I followed you, but if not, what's your thoughts on PNG? We can look at PNG. Yeah, we can look at PNG. And then already saying an 85K for a retest. We have to get through some levels on the daily time frame. We have to get past the 100 and 200, which is sitting at like 90K, before we go down to 85K. So we're gonna probably get some support at 90K if we do go down. All right. So just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, PNG. Are you asking like my thoughts, or you want me to just analyze the chart? Because I'll analyze the chart, but as far as like PNG, I think you might have requested PNG before. Let's get into the daily time frame here. Pangolin at 13 cents right now. Let's see. Looks like Pangolin, it's trying to bottom out here. Okay. We have a high here that we have to get past, where we saw this thing as high as like 24 cents. I want to see Pangolin get above 24 cents to confirm that we're making higher highs. Okay, making higher lows is okay, but I want to see a higher high getting past 24 cents, because right now, just looking at the, like, that, if you get up to 24 cents again or higher than that, you're gonna get yourself above that 200-day moving average, and then once you're above the 200-day moving average, I could be bullish on this asset. Until then, I have to remain bearish until we get above the red line, the 200-day moving average, which is sitting at 22 cents. So that's my thoughts on PNG there for ya. Okay. Let me go into Solana, because I'm curious about Solana myself as well. Solana is actually one of my biggest holdings. One of my biggest positions in crypto is Solana. I do have a good amount of Solana. And Solana is currently trading at $146.72. The question was, will Solana go back to 125, right? Do I think it will drop to 125 or less? Anything is possible, right? But let's see what the charts have to say. If I turn on the VRVP, I think there's a value. Yeah, there is a value. Actually, no, I take that back. The POC, the point of control, which is a very important line for us to be above if we're going to be bullish on Solana, that POC is at $125. If we lose our momentum on Solana, and if we lose like this 21 EMA at 143 bucks, if we lose that, then yeah, we might actually come and get some support at the POC, because the POC at 125, 126 bucks is where a good amount of people were buying Solana all throughout March and into April. So I'm expecting that Solana would get support at that area. That's if we lose the $140, $143 area, which, you know, Solana is kind of teasing. It's playing around with the idea. But if Solana continues being bullish and we actually stay above 140 bucks, then once we get past this high volume node here at $150, there's a big gap in the VRVP. You got a little bit of high volume here at $169, $170 Solana. But the real high volume after that is going to be like $187, $188 Solana. Could be coming up on deck here if we can get past $150 resistance that we're at right now. Okay. So I gave you a little bit of bullish target, and I give you bearish target is that, yeah, Solana could come revisit $125. I believe that's possible just looking at the VRVP here. Yeah. Let's see anything. Oh, and if you look at some old Fibonacci work that I did with Solana, where we measured from Solana going from 20 bucks all the way up to the high that it made of $295, you do have a 0.382 retracement level that says, yeah, Solana could come down to $125. That's a level that Fibonacci traders are looking at as well. All right, move on to some other cryptos here. Let's look at one of the biggest competitors to Solana, besides Ethereum. We'll look at Sui, which is trying to do things better than Solana. Sui currently trading at $3.41 right now, up 4.19% today, almost 420. Now, I just, you know, I drew this bull flag that I saw that Sui could possibly make. I feel as though Sui's probably going to respect this range between $3.19 to like the top here at like $3.85 here. Okay, I'm expecting Sui to do something like that. Let's just stay range bound for a little bit. We want to see Sui stay above that red line here, the 200-day moving average at $3.25, and just use that as support going forward. If we lose $3.25, then yeah, we could come down to lower prices on Sui. And if we do, you know, where could SUI possibly come down? Let me get rid of this this bull flag here, right? And I'll do a fib node retracement here. Let's see, fib retracement, saying that let me just move this a little bit here so you guys can see it better. Yeah. So SUI could come down to the 0.5 retracement level at $2.97, or it can make an even deeper retracement down to the 0.382 level at $2.76. Or you might even get lucky enough where you get an even deeper retracement at 0.236 level, a $2.49 or basically $2.50 SUI could possibly happen, where you basically would be making a higher low, and then you're looking to go to higher prices after that. That's if SUI's going to be, if it is going to be bearish, okay, or if it's going to lose this momentum and go down. We are kind of losing some of that momentum right now, okay? You can see that the buying pressure, which was very strong towards the last week of April, going into the first week of May here, we're getting light green candles on the MACD, and we might get a flip, and we might have some red candles start showing up here on the MACD here. And if you start seeing those red candles show up, you're probably going to be at lower prices. You might actually hit that $2.70 level for SUI. And I would just be a buyer of trying to buy SUI at a lower price than where it is right now. Okay. Because if SUI does become bullish, just using this Fibonacci analysis here, you got the 1618 saying that SUI could get up to like almost $5. Yeah. So I think $5 SUI is still on deck for later on in 2025 here. All right. Thumbo is saying ABT would be better to do than PNG. ABT pumped over the weekend and then went back down. I'm going to take that as a request. You want me to look at ABT? All right, Yessie. Could you please do ABT? It pumped over the weekend. Curious to hear your thoughts. All right, yeah. Yeah, since you mentioned it, I can look at it for you. Not a problem, buddy. All right. So we're moving on to ABT. And this is arc block. And looks like I did some previous chart work on arc block, but right now this thing is trading at $1.07, up 1.3% today. And yeah, all right. So I saw a falling wedge that was being created on arc block here, and usually falling wedges, they break out. The probability of them breaking out to the upside is higher than the probability of them breaking to the downside. Okay, and you're getting that right now. You're getting a breakout to the upside here. Right now, arc block is above the 200-day. Well, I'm sorry, I take that back. It was trying to get above the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is sitting at $1.17 right now. You actually got as high as $1.30 today, so you were threatening to get above it, but you didn't quite close above it. That's a shame. You also did the same thing on Sunday here, where you got above it. You got above it $1.39, but you weren't able to close above it. Interesting. Why can't this thing close above the 200-day moving average? Because if it were to close above the 200-day moving average, then I would be bullish on this asset. But I can't be bullish on it yet until it gets above the 200 moving average. Those are my qualifications. Those are my rules. I suggest you stick to your rules, okay? And if you don't have a set of rules, then maybe you can stick to my rules as far as like when I make a determination if something's bullish or bearish. But if you're above the 200-day moving average, you're bullish. If you're below the 200-day moving average, you're bearish. Jason wants me to look at Ondo. I got you. We'll do Ondo next. But I mean, this is the beginning of possibly bottoming out here for for ARC block, okay? Because you got above some of these previous highs back in March and February here. And if you can get above like the highs that were made back here in January, $1.95 would be the ultimate high here. But also you got another high, candlewick high here of like $1.68 and another candlewick high of like $1.59. I like to see this thing get up to $1.60, and then I would know for sure that we are definitely bullish on this asset, and that would put you well above the 200-day moving average. So we'll see. We'll see if ARC block can continue. It's just steer climbing up the stairs here to higher prices. I like what I'm seeing with this chart. I do see higher lows, and you're in the process of making higher highs than the previous highs. So I would say this thing is in the beginning of its bull trend here. I like it. But right now, RSI is a little bit high and overbought at 73.51. Okay, you got an RSI of 73.51. So I think you're probably gonna go sideways. Once you get past that 200-day moving average, you're probably gonna go sideways. 200 moving average is sitting at $1.17. So I think this thing's gonna hang out near $1.17, $1.20 before it makes even more explosive moves up to the upside. I see Jim's in the chat. Good to see you, Jim. And BC, we actually looked at SUI. It was one of the first ones that we looked at. If you want to just rewind the live stream a little bit, I think we talked about it like 2 or 3 coins ago. Okay. But yeah, I think SUI, for the most part, is just trading sideways for now. But I did say that we could see some retracements where we might go down to like $2.70 on SUI. But if SUI is bullish, then maybe we might actually see SUI go up to $5 at some point. All right. Alrighty. So I guess we'll look at Ondo after this, and then let's see. Jim, what does Jim say here? Jim's like 200 or the 50 being resistance is a dumpy time. On what time frame are you talking about, and on what asset, Jim? I'm curious. All right. Let's look at Ondo in the meantime while I'm waiting for your answer there, Jim. Which time frame are you looking at, and what asset? All right. So now here we are. We're looking at Ondo, currently trading at 86 cents. We're looking at the daily time frame here. I do have some previous chart work that I've done on Ondo. Looks like Ondo was also in a falling wedge for the most part. And I did have like a possible breakout move that we could see Ondo probably get up to like $1.97, that blue number right there. If it does decide to go for another bull run here. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. We already know. Okay. I'll even get rid of that as well. So I feel like a lot of these cryptocurrencies are bottoming out here. Now that Bitcoin is threatening to go back up to 100K. Some of these altcoins are now just starting to bottom out and trying to start the beginning of a bull run or a bull, yeah. They're basically trying to start their uptrends to higher prices. And I see that with Ondo here, okay? You had, obviously with Ondo, you were making lower lows and lower highs, okay? This was the last high that it made. And then it kind of made like almost the same high here. So it wasn't really a higher high. It was just like the same high. But yeah, now you've recently made higher highs here on Ondo. Where you respected the 50-day moving average as resistance at $1.05 is where we topped out there on Saturday, April 26th. But now Ondo kind of just like, it's going down and it's looking for a higher low. I believe this might be where the higher low is going to form, because look at this, right? Look at the MACD. You're getting some red bars showing up on the MACD now. So there is some selling pressure. When you see a pink candle instead of a red candle on the MACD, that lets you know that buyers are stepping in, and that might be the end of the downtrend. Okay, as you see, like back here, you know, you got red, 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 and then you get light pink, 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 and that lets you know that that was a temporary bottom right there for Ondo. So when you start seeing pink start to show up on the MACD, it could possibly lead to buying pressure with green candles. Okay, so if you're looking to find out whether or not you're bottoming out and getting a low on Ondo, you just take a look at the MACD and just see if that candle starts showing up light red. That could be your signal that it might be a good time to buy after you've just already been in a downtrend here. Okay, that's usually how I try to play the MACD. Okay, when I'm trying to use it as a signal. Okay, but it also helps to do more than just signals. You probably want to use another indicator or maybe do some Fibonacci analysis to figure out where that low might come in. Okay, so if this is the top here for Ondo at like $1, what was it, $1.05? Okay, we measure them there down to the bottom where we bottom out over here. We do have fib levels here that says that maybe Ondo at 86 cents is a good buy, a good retracement. Okay, but it could come lower. And I'm gonna have to move this over a little bit, I'm sorry. But yeah, this is, let me just, yeah. So you can actually see the numbers here. But Ondo could come to a deeper retracement and actually come down to 81 cents. So maybe you could put a buy limit order in at 81 cents. Or you could try even the 0.236 retracement level at like 75 cents. Okay. If you're really trying to get cheap with it, you could probably put a buy limit order here, see if it gets filled. If it doesn't, then, you know, it's whatever. And then you'll just have to buy something you'll have to buy it at 81 cents. All right, Jim. Yep, I'm doing pretty well, Jim. You want to look at Zen? Okay. And then, let's see. You said that you always talk about higher time frames. You're normally on the 2 hour. Okay. All right. You're welcome, Jason. But yeah, you're just looking for a higher low here on Ondo, and I think you might get that at like 81 cents, or even right now could possibly be the higher low that's being formed right now on Ondo. You can never be too sure. Nothing is certain. We're just trying to play some good guesswork here using technical analysis. All right. I'll take a look at Zen. And I see Trade Intuitions in here. Yes, guys, please listen to Trade Intuition and smash that like button for me. Appreciate that. So we're going to look at the Zen. I believe that's Horizon from my buddy Jim there. Looking at Horizon right now. Currently trading at $8.28 right now. We're on the daily time frame. And I'm just getting familiar with this. I don't think I ever looked at this chart before. Obviously, we had a really good altcoin season for this coin when we saw this thing as high as like 42 bucks is what I'm looking at right here. Okay, $49 actually. Right before Christmas on Christmas Eve. So this thing's obviously been a downtrend because currently we're trading below that. We're at $8.28. Okay. Okay. Have we bottomed out yet? Or are we bottoming out? Looks like I see the lowest low around April 7th here at like $6.41. So you want to make sure that you don't go lower than that. If you do come down, you want to make sure maybe you're making the same low, like a double bottom maybe, at the $6.41, and you could still count that as bottoming out. If you go lower than that, then you're still in a downtrend, right? Okay. So we're looking for higher lows or maybe even the same low to qualify as us bottoming out, but we also need to see higher highs as well. You have the last notable high here at like $10.97. So I want to see us get up to $10.97. I want to see us get up maybe to like $11 to qualify as a higher high. Okay. If we do go up to higher prices, this green line, someone's probably going to consider this as a good take profit area. That 50-day moving average, this green line is sitting at $10.87 right now, and it's going lower. Just remember, like tomorrow, it's going to be at a lower price because the trend on this moving average is going down. So the resistance might even be lower than that in the next few days to come here. But yeah, I think the 50-day moving average will act as resistance. So, you know, your take profit target is probably going to be like $10.87 to like maybe like $11, which is that previous notable high here. That's if you're short-term day trading this this cryptocurrency. Yeah, I want to see us get up to that level. About $11 is where I would be short-term trading it. Now, if you're in this for the long term, you do want to get above that 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average is sitting at $14. That could be another take profit target if you're swing trading this. I also see a 100-day moving average at $15.30. Let's go ahead and turn on the VRVP, see what the VRVP has to say about these levels. Okay, so you got the POC sitting at about $9. Maybe like $8.80. So you're slightly below the POC. Just all you need to know about the POC is that when we get up to there, that level, there's going to be a lot of selling pressure. Okay. We might get rejected and come down. And if we get rejected off that POC and we come down, then you do have some volume here at like $7.26, but you also got the value area low sitting at like $6.91. If you're trying to get really cheap and lucky here, you might be able to scoop up some cheaper horizon at $6.96, maybe $7. And if it does come down there, then hopefully that ends up just being a double bottom, and then you could get launched up to go to higher prices from there. But ideally, you probably don't want to see it go lower. If you're already invested in this asset, you don't want to see it go lower. But just know that it could, and if it does, you could add more to your position at like $6.90 or $7, in my opinion here. Okay. But yeah, if this thing, like I say, if this thing does start going to higher prices, you got that POC as resistance at $8.80. Then you got some more volume at like $9.69, and then after that, the volume drops off, and then I think $11 is going to be your short-term target. And if you get past that, you got some more volume here at like $13.33. But I think the 200-day moving average is what people are going to be eyeing for their take profit targets, and I'm expecting people to start selling at like $14. Could be a tough resistance level to move forward. And then after that, I mean, you can ask me again once we get up to $14, you know, what the chart's looking like and where I think the next target take profit targets might be. But for now, I think you should just be happy if you can get back to $14. All right. Jim's like, you do love a fire sale. All right. Let's see how my TikTok guys are doing. Dennis is saying that crypto's not going to rally until the Fed lowers rates. I think that would be the case for every asset in the world, to be honest. Every asset. I mean, just look at the price of oil right now. Oil's dropping like a rock, okay? The only thing that's not dropping like a rock is like gold and silver and Bitcoin at the moment. So I think what you're saying is just stating the obvious, to be honest. Blue Collar Colin, you asked me what platform do I trade on? I trade on Kraken for my crypto and also Coinbase as well. Those are two pretty good cryptocurrency exchanges that I like using, that I trust. Some other good ones are like Mexi, Weeks. Yeah, those are the platforms that I would feel comfortable recommending to people. All right, so I have a request here for Algorand and Cardano. All right, we'll take a look at Algorand and Cardano. Let me just write these things down so I don't forget. Algo and Cardano. And then what's this? You want me to check out your dad's coin? No, I'm not checking out your dad's coin. McBaron, I believe it's gonna do well. Just I'm not gonna check anything that requires me to go on deck screener. Okay, because that's how, you know, TikTok doesn't like it when I look at meme coins that nobody knows about besides you and your dad. All right, moving on to Algorand. And I think after Algorand and Cardano, I'll look at XRP, because I know you guys love it when I talk about XRP. And I like to save XRP towards the middle to the end of the live stream, because if I do it in the beginning, someone's just going to request it and be like, hey, can you look at XRP? And I'm like, oh, I already did. I already looked at XRP. All right. Algorand, currently trading at just under 20 cents. And, you know, we have almost all the indicators fired up, ready to go here. And what do we got here? POC is at 19 cents for Algorand. Value area low, that white line, is at 16.5 cents. Value area high is sitting up very high at 42 cents. So there's a lot of room for this thing to run to higher prices here. Okay, just looking at the VRVP. I mean, you do got some resistance levels here. Probably the most significant one that I see, besides the POC, is this one here at like 29 cents, which would put you right above that 200-day moving average, that red line, at 26 cents. So I think your first take profit target should be about 29-30 cents. Then you got a gap here. You got some more resistance levels in the 30-cent areas, like 36 cents. But yeah, if you can get this thing to push up to higher prices, the value area high is at 42 cents. And I think that should be a long-term take profit target, because 42 cents is basically where almost everybody else was buying Algorand back in like December of 2024 and January, February of 2025. So those people that bought over here, they feel trapped right now. They're going to want to sell when Algorand gets up to like 40 cents. They're going to want to break even when Algorand gets up to 40 cents. So you and a bunch of other people are going to be selling at 40 cents. But I think 40 cents is your ultimate take profit, long-term target, take profit price for Algorand. And yeah, let's see what we got going on here. Is Algorand beginning its bull run? Let me get rid of the VRP. I see the last significant notable high was back here in March, where we saw Algorand at like 21, almost 22 cents. You did get above that here in towards the end of April when you got up to like 23, 24 cents. So I like the fact that you are making higher highs now on Algorand and trying to reverse the trend from being downtrend to possible the beginning of an uptrend here. Just keep in mind that this 50-day moving average, this green line, is going to act as resistance in the near term. But this 21 EMA should act as support. Okay, so we probably get bounced between the white line and the green line before it makes a decision which way it's going to go. And if it does go up to higher prices, like I said, this 200-day moving average is probably going to be your next resistance area after you get past the 50-day. So right now, if you're day trading it, 23 cents is your short-term day trading target. Then the next day trading target is going to be 26 cents. And if you're in it for the long term, then you're trying to see if this thing's going to push up back up to 40 cents again. All right. Yeah, I mean I could do a bearish case on this crypto. There really isn't one, as long as you're able to maintain this 21 EMA as support. If you don't hold that support, then yeah, you could probably revisit the lows here back in like the beginning of April when this thing was at like 14-15 cents. And I would just put a stop loss at like maybe 14 or 13 cents. Because if it goes lower than that, then there's something wrong. You're not, you know, reversing the downtrend here. All right. Moving on to Cardano. We have Cardano currently trading at 66 cents. Recently, we've been talking about Cardano almost every day now. And I do have like this kind of like this little bull flag that I see Cardano possibly could be making. It's range bound in between here, these two yellow lines here. Let's see if Cardano is able to maintain this 21 EMA as support. Right now, that 21 EMA is currently at 67 cents. So I want to see Cardano stay at 67 cents or higher. Okay. But yeah, if you're day trading Cardano, you do have the 50-day moving average. It seems like it's almost the same thing on all these altcoins here, but the 50-day moving average is going to act as resistance on Cardano. Right now, it's sitting at 73 cents. But if you get past that 73 cent area, then I would be targeting the 200-day moving average at 77 cents. And we have some Fibonacci work here. You can see that the 0.382 retracement level is at 72 cents. So that's a number that a lot of traders are eyeballing. You're going to have some resistance at that 72 cent area. But if you can make it past 72 cents, then the next level is going to be 83 cents. Basically like another 10 pennies up, right? So those are your near-term take profit targets. Ultimately, I think Cardano will come up to 0.618 at 95 cents. And now that we kind of zoomed out here, we'll turn on the VRVP, see if it agrees with any of those levels that I said. You can see that the value area high is at like 94, 95 cents. So that agrees with the 0.618 retracement. So that would be your ultimate long-term target for Cardano here. You can see that we also have some high volume here at 72, 73 cents. So that's also a level that you got to be on the lookout for here for Cardano. And then bearish case wise, if you know for some reason Cardano comes down, it could revisit the lows that we made back here in April, where we saw Cardano get down to 51 cents. But I think that's because it overshot the 0.236 retracement level here at 57 cents. It's probably where you're going to get a reaction. You'll get some support if Cardano does come down to lower prices. I would put some buy limit orders in at 57 cents just to see if you get lucky enough. Just because we come down to 57 cents, it doesn't mean that we'll actually stay there, but you might be lucky enough to get filled at 57 cents. So I'd be putting in some orders in there, just using that Fibonacci level. And of course, you know, you don't want to lose 50. You don't want to lose 50 cents, because if you lose 50 cents, you got a big gap here. Cardano, it could get really bloody. You know, Cardano could go down to 44 cents, or it could come down to the POC at 35 cents. But that's you know, if we start getting bearish for some reason, you can request Cardano again, and we'll take a look at that. I highly doubt we'll lose 57 cents on Cardano. But if we do, just keep in mind that, you know, that this is the reason why you would put a stop loss, because you don't want to get hurt and lose more money, you know. if it does come down to 30 cents. All right, so I guess we'll take a look at XRP now. And then, is there another one I want to look at? I think we'll look at Ethereum. I want to make sure I don't forget the high market cap cryptocurrencies here. All right, XRP. All right, so XRP currently trading at $2.13. Just looking at the chart, eyeballing it, you see that the value area high sitting at 237. We got to get past 237, $2.40 for us to continue being bullish on XRP. Because once you get past that value area high, you have a steep drop in the volume, and you don't have a high volume node until like $3.12 here. So XRP, once it gets past this resistance, and it does have resistance, right? It has, you know, the value area high at 240, but also at 240 is the 100-day moving average is sitting at $2.41. So once you get past those moving averages here on Cardano, I can see this thing jumping up to like $3 in no time. But yeah, Cardano is just chilling. It's just, there's nothing all too concerning as far as I see with Ripple. If you lose the 200-day moving average, that might get some people worried here. That 200-day moving average is sitting at $2.06. You know, if you lose $2.06, you might come down and revisit the lows here back in April at like $1. Was it $1.70? No, $1.61. Okay, but that's if you lose the 200-day moving average. All right, moving on to Ethereum. You got Ethereum currently trading at 1817. Ethereum is kind of like trading at the same prices as colonial America. Back in 1817? Actually, no. I was like around almost like close to the Civil War time. Or maybe, nah. Forget about it. 1817 on Ethereum. I like to see Ethereum try to respect this 21 EMA as support now as it starts to curve back up. All right. You do have the 50-day moving average. That green line could act as resistance at 2161. Trying to see if I see anything interesting on the RSI. Nothing yet. I don't see anything too crazy. But yeah, Ethereum. I would like to see Ethereum start getting up to that $2,100 level, because their last significant high, notable high, was around that $2,100 level. Let's see, we had it at 2104. So I want to see Ethereum get up to like 2110 maybe. And then we know that we're making higher highs here, and that we're getting out of this downtrend that we've been in for Ethereum for a while now. I think that's like almost like a 10-15% move up from where we are right now. So I think when Ethereum gets up to like $2,100 up to like $2,200, you have like some resistance. That might be your first take profit target if you're day trading it. But man, I mean, you can't really day trade it too much, because look at these candles here the last few days here. Ethereum just trading sideways. Let's see, like we got a candle here on Thursday that was actually pretty decent. It went up like 2.5%. Yeah, okay. And then the next day was at like up only 0.23%. Ethereum spent all of Friday, last Friday, and it only went up $4. Yikes. And then the next day on Saturday, it went down $9. And then on Sunday, it went down $25. 1.3%. And then today, Ethereum went up $10 today. Actually, you can see that right here on the side here. Ethereum is only up $9 today. It's not really doing much as far as like day trading. I would probably swing trade Ethereum at this point because, or you would have to use a lot of leverage just to get, just to get some juice out of it, squeeze some juice out of this thing. Yeah, but Ethereum, if Ethereum does get past $2,100, then it could start making a run to higher prices here. Where you got the 200-day moving average is sitting at $2,700. I think that's your medium term target price for Ethereum. And if I turn on the VRVP, it's probably going to say agree with these levels as well. Yeah, Ethereum is kind of like chilling out at the POC right now. POC is a little bit below us at like 1790. Then you got some high volume nodes here at 1800, 1892, $1,900. Then you got like all these kind of like weird high volume nodes here. I mean, they're not crazy high volume, but there is some like resistance at $2,200. Then there's some more resistance at like $2,500. And then you got the significant resistance levels at like $2,700 for Ethereum. But if it gets up to there, you're up 50% on your Ethereum investment. But yeah, I think Ethereum's got a lot of work to do, in my eyes, in my opinion. All right. Well, this guy keeps trying to push his coin here, Dad coin. Let's see if I can find it on Coin Market. Okay. If I can find it on CoinMarketCap without having to go on like Deck Screener, then we'll look at it. Dad coin. Yeah. There's your dad coin. Okay. It only has like $4,000 in it. Get out of here. That's a joke. Okay. So what? You and your dad put like a couple of grand in it and it has $4,000? Nice. Get out of here. All right. Let's see if there's any other coins we can talk about here. Let's take a look at AI16Z. Up 7% today. That one has some juice in it. You probably squeeze something out of it. So I'm looking at AI16Z currently trading at 27 cents. And what has this thing? Oh, we have like a 50-day moving average starting to show up now. This thing is a relatively new coin. It started trading on Mexi back in the second week of December 14th here is what I'm looking at. So we really don't have that much data on it. Obviously, this thing topped out during the altcoin season of like end of December, beginning of January of 2025 here. And it's been down, down, down and to the right and ugly, right? But you could possibly have some upside with this coin if it gets up to higher prices. Let's see. What's the last notable high that we need to get above? Let me get rid of the VRVP here. So we did get above the highs here in March. So that's good to see. It is, I would qualify that as making a higher high because you had the last significant high back in March at like 22 cents. We're currently above that right now. Let's see if we're able to get above the last high here in the beginning of March at like 45 cents, 46 cents. If it does that, then I think more money will start pouring into this coin. You were overbought towards the end of April here, where we had RSIs of like 75 and 75.48 here. RSI is currently in the 60s now. So it might just be creating a higher low at this point for us to go to higher prices again. Let's see. Let's see if the MACD also says that. Actually, no. No, MACD is showing that we're getting less buying pressure right now. I would like to see like red candles here on the MACD and see like maybe a pink candle, which could mean that we're going to start seeing green buying pressure candles soon, but that's not the case. So I wouldn't really say that we're making a higher low here on AI16Z. Well, I would like to say that we are. Let's see, 21 EMA could act as support for AI16Z. That's sitting at 21 cents. If we lose that 21 EMA, then we might lose our momentum here, and we might have to revisit the lows and revisit maybe 13 cents again if AI16Z loses that 21 EMA. So this thing could still lose like 50% on you. But if you're willing to lose 50%, then you might, right? If I turn on that VRVP real quick here, you got a little bit of high volume node here at 83, 84 cents. Wow, okay. So if I just measure that out, going from 27 cents to 83 cents. You got like 195% gainer. This thing could basically 3x on you. Interesting. Might want to take a look at AI16Z, guys. Because you're game planning that you might lose 50% to then gain 200%. All right. Let's see if I got do I have any more requests here? I got AIOZ as a request by Mandito. Okay. And then Virtual. All right. Virtual did come in first. So I'll look at Virtual and then I'll look at AIOZ. Let's do it. So we're looking at virtuals, and just right off the bat, it's just screaming at me right now that this thing is currently overbought right now. RSI is like in the 80s. Oof, well, 78 right now. This cryptocurrency currently trading at $1.67 right now. It's having another green candle day. So kudos to the virtual cryptocurrency longs and bulls out there. We are currently, oh man, let me get rid of your VP. Yeah. We are currently above that 200-day moving average. So that, you know, my rule is if we're above the 200-day moving average on the daily time frame, then I can be bullish. I can be cautiously optimistic and bullish. So I see the reason why people are bullish as long as you're above the 200-day moving average. Okay. I did do a Fibonacci analysis on this earlier, measuring from like 50 cents, 54 cents here, all the way up to as high as it got as high as $1.89, I believe, on Friday here. So what does that give us for Fib nose? We got a 0.786 retracement to $1.60. It looks like we already came down to that $1.60 level. Looks like $1.60. People scooped that up. Traders paid attention and they actually bought at those levels here for the $1.60 area. And if this thing is going to continue being extremely bullish, then that's all you're going to get for a retracement, and then this thing's probably going to go up to higher prices again. Now, if we're not that extremely bullish, then I could see this thing coming down to like the 200-day moving average at $1.39, which corresponds to that 0.618 retracement level, $1.38, $1.39. So I would be putting in some buy limit orders here if I felt like I needed some more virtuals, and I want to get filled at that 0.618 retracement level at $1.38, and that also would correspond to this 200-day moving average. That should also provide some support. So you got a little bit of confluence at that level there. That should be a level that you should be targeting if you're trying to buy in, or if you're short selling it. If you're day trading and short selling it, you should be taking your profit when this thing actually goes down to $1.38, and you should be covering your short at $1.38. Oh, so you are looking to short, huh? You're trying to short virtuals. Okay. Well, there you go. There's my answer for you. $1.38 you should be getting out of your short. What's the deal? Someone's trying to flirt with me? Just trying to see what's out there? Well, if you're trying to flirt, you got to take that to the DMs. All right. What was the other one that we are gonna look at? AIOZ. Okay, let's look at AIOZ. All right, AIOZ. We'll look at that on KuCoin. See how it is on KuCoin. AIOZ currently trading at 40 cents right now. Up 3.19% today. And what do we got going here for AIOZ? I see that AIOZ, it's beginning to create its uptrend here. We did get above the highs here on March 2nd, I believe. Let's see, we had a high of like 42.5 cents. And on April 26th, we got as high as 46, almost 47 cents. And then, yeah, we've been above that. So we are creating higher highs. That's good to see. I can say you bottom out on AIOZ because you now created a higher high and now you're looking for a higher low. And I think the higher low might have came in today because you did get as low as like 33 cents, almost 34 cents today. And you respected the 21 EMA for the most part. That 21 EMA is being used as support right now. So kudos for that. And if you're going to go to higher prices, you might get some more resistance at like the 100-day and the 200-day, which is sitting at like 56 and 58 cents right now. Looking at the RSI, you were overbought this about a couple of weeks ago, and you were overbought like all throughout last week on AIOZ. Now you're kind of chilling out at like in the 60s on the RSI, so there could be some more room to run if this thing does want to run. Buying pressure is starting to die down though, so be careful with that. But that doesn't mean that the buying pressure can't step up and go back up again. Just, you know, just be careful that this might just actually just be where the higher low is forming, to be honest. All right. And let's look at the cheat sheet. Let's see what the cheat sheet has to say. What is Market Cipher B saying here? I see a red dot, a green dot, and a red dot. Red dot was last Friday. So last Friday was a good day to sell AIOZ, according to Market Cipher B. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a green dot get printed soon here, which would just confirm that now's a good time to be buying AIOZ. Am I ready to turn on the VIP right now? Let's see what the VRVP has to say. VRVP is showing POC at 27 cents. You're currently above that. You got a high volume node just above us at like 43 cents. So 43 cents is going to be a tough nut to crack, but when you do, you got a drop in the volume. It's very steep. Big gap in the VRVP here. And then you might not see some resistance until 75 cents. And then you got the value area high at like 82, 83 cents. So this thing could possibly double. You could possibly double in price. But yeah, I think once it does double, you should sell something. I'm not gonna say all of it, but if you sell and you doubled, hey man, you just made some money. You just doubled your money, or whatever you had in it has doubled in price. So you should be trying to sell if you're trying to be a profitable trader and investor. That's what a profitable trader and investor does. You buy low, you sell high. Buy low, sell high. Such an easy concept to understand. Hard for most to execute. But that's why we come on the charts here to figure out, you know, if we're not just buy, hold, and forgetting about it, if we're actually trying to be tactical with our trade and investments here, then yeah, you got to use these indicators here and use some, you know, looking for confluence with the indicators to kind of give you an idea. Is like, where's a good area to sell? Where's a good area to buy? So I think AIOZ, if you bought it right now, put a stop loss at like 17 cents, so you don't lose too much. You could be buying low and you could be selling high at 80 cents, and you're doing all right. You bought low, you sold high. Yeah, Mendito, I would say 80 cents seems to be a good area according to the VRVP here. The value area high is where, you know, 15% of the volume was traded at. You got all these people here that bought AIOZ in November and December and January. Those people, they feel like they got trapped because they lost half of their investment. So when it gets back up to 80 cents, these people who want to get out of AIOZ and just break even, they're going to do it at 80 cents. So you're going to have a lot of resistance, a lot of selling pressure at 80 cents. Doesn't mean that it can't go higher, but just know that you're going to be competing against everybody here that wants to sell at 80 cents because, you know, they got trapped. They right now they're underwater right now. So 80 cents seems to be a good area to be getting out. And if you still want to stay in it, you can, you know, sell some and then keep the rest and see if it goes up to like 90 or $1. Okay? But just know that that value area high is saying that there's a lot of people here that want to get out at 80 cents. Yeah, I mean, Dito, I would be happy for you if it does go to 80 cents. I feel like a lot of these cripples are capable of doubling in price because they already lost half of their value since January. So AIOZ wouldn't be the only one that is going to double, in my opinion. I think a lot of these cryptos are going to double in price later on this year. But yeah, I don't have a crystal ball. You know, World War III could start. You know, we could get a really bad recession or whatever, and that could just throw all this analysis out the door, out the window. But I feel confident that 80 cents, and I feel like confident that a lot of these cryptos can double in price once more money starts flowing back into the ecosystem here. It would be nice if they cut interest rates. That I will tell you that's for sure. I think a lot of people are saying that they're going to probably, like people who are betting on the betting markets are betting that the Federal Reserve is not going to cut interest rates this week, but they'll cut it on their next meeting. I believe that's in like June or July. I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see. Let's look at FOMC. So, let's see. FOMC. We all know on Wednesday, the FOMC meeting is at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Jerome Powell is going to have his press conference at 2:30. And then they'll let us know how they feel about interest rates and if they're going to cut them or not. But then also, if I go into the FOMC calendar, let's see. All right, all this information here. So yeah, if they don't cut in May, then they got another meeting in June. They might cut on June 18th here. And oh god, if they don't cut in June, then maybe they'll cut in July 29th, the 30th. But I think a lot of the betting markets, people that follow the Federal Reserve, that pay attention to what the interest rates are doing, they're betting that there's a high probability that they're going to cut interest rates in June. Okay. May is a little bit too early, but you never know. They might be having a good day. They might want to throw us a bone this week. Let's see. I've been live for almost like an hour and a half now, roughly. I think I covered most of the cryptos I wanted to talk about today. I appreciate you guys coming out to the to live stream and making these requests here. I think I'm gonna end the live stream. You guys should try to see if you can catch me for the next live stream here. And of course, I get somebody with a last minute request here. Patty XRP started following me, and you came up with a request. NMKR. I'll make that the last request here that I'll take. Then we'll finish up by looking at Bitcoin, and then that'll be the end of the stream here. Appreciate you following me here. Let's go ahead and look at MAKR. All right, so this thing is trading. It's actually down today, 10%. Trading at 622 points. This is a very crazy chart. Look at that crazy, like, candle wicks here. What the hell is this? You telling me somebody bought and sold at like 3,800, and then it closed out at 750? That's like a scam to me, if you ask me. I would be so pissed if I bought here and now I'm stuck, you know, waiting for it to go back up to 3,000. But anyways, yeah, let's see what we can figure out with this thing. POC, that blue line, is sitting at 846. You're currently hanging out near the value area low at like 570 is where the value area low is at. So you could be buying it relatively cheap here, okay? You can put your stop loss at like 500. And if it goes below 500, you probably want nothing to do with it, because it probably means that you're going to continue going on low prices here. But if you get past that POC and you start going to higher prices, then you might get a little bit of resistance from that 50-day moving average at 1,000 points. Then you also got the a little bit of high volume on the VRVP at 1,000 points. So I would, if I'm short-term day trading this, I'm looking for 1,000 as my first take profit target. And then I see another high volume node here, like 1360. And that kind of corresponds to like where the 200 moving average is at. So I would probably target the 200 day as my next take profit target on this one at 1397. And then you're going to see if like maybe you can put your next take profit target at the value area high at 1633. And let's see. Yeah, 1633 is a good high volume node here. As I start to zoom out, you can see that the VRVP starts to change on us. And now you got another value area high at like 1967. It seems like a lot of people bought at like 1960 or 2,000 point area. So all these people, they probably feel like they're trapped at these levels. If this thing ever gets back up to like 19 or 2,000 points, you're gonna have people who want to sell just to get out and break even at 2,000. So that's my I would say 2,000 is my ultimate long-term take profit target. And if you could do that, then you basically tripled. You got a 3x on this investment. All right. I see Nas trades. You say that you're a beginner. I'm a beginner, been trading for 5 days now. Do you think TradeView is okay to trade with? Then Excel? Yeah, I would use TradingView. If you're able to look at the charts like I am with TradingView, I would do that. Now, if you don't pay for the subscription, I think you're not going to have as many indicators as I have. I think they give you like 2 or 3 indicators, and then you got to pay for more if you want to look at more indicators at the same time. But yeah, TradingView, I would stick with TradingView. All right, let's look at Bitcoin, see how Bitcoin's doing. So Bitcoin's trading at $94,800. I think I said like $95,000 is what I'm targeting, right? I forgot the reason why. I think it was like I was looking at the 15-minute chart. Let's go into the 50-minute chart for Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin 94,800. And yeah, I think the reason why I picked $95,000 for my day trading on Bitcoin is because that 200 moving average is sitting at the 200 moving average on the 15 minutes sitting at $95,000. That's probably where we might get some people trying to sell, like myself, day trading it. I think $95,000 is also a psychological level. You know, a clean, even $95,000 Bitcoin is probably what some people want to sell their Bitcoin at. So I'll probably be selling it around that area as well. And yeah, I mean, if it gets up to $95,000, you're gonna get above this last high that we made this afternoon. At let's see, we got up to like 94,858, 94,900. Yeah. Let's see, we got oh, we actually did hit $95,000 in the last 15 minutes here. Let me get into the 1 minute chart here. Let's see what the 1 minute says. Yeah, we got up to $95,000 10 minutes ago. Now each of these candles is representing 1 minute. Every candle 1 minute. Oh, look at that. We're jumping up right now. 94,962. I don't know, maybe I'll stick around the live stream to see if we actually hit $95,000. We're at 94,977. Can we push it higher? Let's go. Send it. We're looking at the 1 minute time frame here for Bitcoin. Anytime you get above the red line, that's 200 moving average on the 1 minute time frame, it usually means you're probably gonna go at least to higher prices. You got the wind to your back if that's the case on the 1 minute time frame. Then of course you want to see if you're gonna get above the 200 on the 5 minute time frame. And we already are above the 200 moving average on the 5 minute time frame, so that's good to see, right? Let's then go to the 15 minute time frame. 15 minute time frame, we are not above the 200 moving average. 200 moving average is probably going to be acting as resistance when we do get up there. That's currently sitting at 95,070 bucks. And let's see, we're still looking at Bitcoin right now, almost at $95,000. Interesting. Oh, there we go. 94,980. Do I have anybody that wants it for 95? 94,990? I saw 94,990. Do I have 94,950? Nobody wants it for 94,950? Come on, 94,950. Can we get that? I'm trying to talk like an auctioneer over here. 94,950. Okay, 950, not 995. What about 94,995? Nope. Okay. Oh, I see. I got traded. I got Joe over here to laugh. He thinks I'm funny. 94,982. Hey, let's see. Well, it's good to see green, right? Doesn't that make you guys happy to see some green on the charts here? Let's see. I'll move on to the 1 hour time frame. What is the 1 hour saying? It would be nice if we can get above the 200 on the 1 hour time frame. That's at 95,308. So there might be some resistance. I would start selling if you're day trading it. I would put in, some sell orders at $95,000. Look at that. It's coming in right now. 94,998. But I would also put in some sell orders in at like 95,300 because that's on the 1 hour time frame. You got the 200 that could act as resistance in the near term here. But it would be nice to see that $95,000 Bitcoin again. Come on. Come on. Don't tease my viewers here. We're so close. Dizzle thinks that Asia is going to start selling on us. It's going to send it down tonight. That would be unfortunate. Nas Trade, you're asking me what are indicators? Well, while we're here on the charts, indicators, there's a bunch of indicators that we use. Some people consider the moving averages, this red, blue, green lines. That would be an indicator. Okay. Another indicator would be like the RSI, this red line here, which bounces up and down. I think I have like a tutorial video. If you want to look at like how to read a candlestick chart, I have a video of that on my YouTube channel. You might want to check out the Meet Damien YouTube channel. Okay. And yeah. Then another indicator here is the MACD. Okay, that's the MACD with the green and red, and then you got the stochastic RSI is another indicator here. So those are your indicators. Okay. Usually, when I'm first starting out, for someone who's kind of new to trading, I usually just do RSI, MACD, and stochastic RSI are some good indicators to start learning about and familiarizing yourself with. Okay. And let me just show you the Meet Damien channel here. Okay. So here, if you go onto YouTube, you can see me on YouTube here, Meet Damien channel, and I do have a video here, how to read a candlestick chart. Okay, you're gonna want to click on this this video. This is what the thumbnail looks like, and I just explained here. You know, so there is, like I said, the daily chart, which is good for most traders out there. I explained how to read the charts here on this video. It's like a 9 or 10 minute video? Yeah, it's like almost like it's actually 13 minutes. Okay, but I get into like how to read the charts here for your candlestick charts, and then how to use the indicators and what indicators I use. You might want to go check out the Meet Damien channel, okay, and click on the how to read a candlestick chart video, okay. But yeah, guys, if you want to go check out the Meet Damien channel, I'm also on YouTube here for my TikTok guys. You can find me on. You'll find all my content: the long videos, the live streams, and the short. I do YouTube shorts as well. For those who just want to get right to it, I'll do the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute videos over here as well. Okay. All right. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for the live stream. Appreciate you guys coming out to the live stream. Be on the lookout for my next live stream. I'll try to go live probably around the same time, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. All depends on what time I get back from the gym. Okay. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming out to live stream. Good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into. And oh, wow, look at that. $95,000 Bitcoin. As soon as I end the stream. There you go. We'll end it on that good note right there. Take care, guys. And happy Cinco de Mayo. $95,000 Bitcoin. Let's go.